Good morning, school. If you look at the picture in front of you, you will see the Cross of St George, and with the Olympics and the European Championships coming up, well, no doubt that this summer you will see a lot of examples of the Cross of St George flying. Now, of course, this week, the 23rd of April, was St George's Day. He is the patron saint of England, as well as a number of other places. So I thought we'd just take a few minutes to talk about the myth, the reality behind him, and maybe what he represents in today's world. Now, it may surprise you to learn that George, or George of Lydia as he was known, wasn't actually English. He was born in the 3rd century in Turkey, but to a Greek family. He served in the army of an Italian city-state and died actually while living in modern-day Palestine. He was born, as I said, in Cappadocia and then moved to Palestine, where he became a palace guard for the Emperor Diocletian, a member of his Praetorian Guard. Now, George was a Christian, which in the 4th century Rome was a difficult thing to be, because Rome was a pagan empire. They still worshipped the pagan gods. It was led by Emperor Diocletian, and he passed a law banning Christianity and ordered all his soldiers, including George, to make a sacrifice to the pagan gods. George refused. Diocletian apparently offered him money to turn against his faith, but George again refused to recant his beliefs. As a result, for failure to follow the emperor's orders, he was imprisoned, tortured, and eventually on the 23rd of April 303 he was executed. His death and his life apparently inspired Empress Alexandra of Rome to convert to Christianity, and a few years later he was canonized or made a saint as a result of his martyrdom. So George becomes a symbol of sacrifice, of bravery, and of courage. Now, you may be interested to know that as well as being patron saint of England, he's also patron saint of Catalonia, of Ethiopia, of Georgia, of Greece, of Lithuania, Palestine, Portugal, and Russia. He's also one of the Catholic Church's 14 holy helpers, a group of saints who are venerated because their intercession is believed to be particularly effective against various diseases. So he is a saint and a martyr, but you'll notice, of course, up to this point we've not mentioned the dragon, and in fact the stories of St George and the dragon didn't actually come into being, the myth didn't come into being until many centuries later. The story goes that whilst travelling the Middle East, spreading the word of Christianity, St George came across the city of Cyrene in modern day Libya. The city was being terrorised by a fierce dragon. And each day the town were making a sacrifice, were giving sheep to the dragon to try and stop it from destroying the town. However, eventually the dragon got tired of sheep and demanded human sacrifice. And so a ballot was drawn, where occasionally someone's name would be drawn out the hat and they would be sacrificed to the dragon. And on this one day, the king's daughter's name came out of the hat. The princess was chosen to be fed to the dragon. No one would step in and take her place, and this damsel in distress was left at the mercy of the dragon. St George stepped in, slaying the dragon with his lance called Ascalon. As a result, he was rewarded with great wealth by the king, but instead of taking that wealth, he apparently shared it between the people of Cyrene. The people of Cyrene were amazed by what they saw, and therefore immediately converted to Christianity. Now, for the patron saint of England, it's interesting, of course, that despite his many travels, St George actually never visited England. Edward I was the first king who really took St George's cross as an emblem, as a banner on his shield, and he believed that he represented the virtues of bravery, of sacrifice, of heroism and devotion. And in fact, you'll note that the George Cross, the Medal for Gallantry, bears his name. And so, as you see the St George's flag flying over the coming months, maybe just take a moment to think about actually what he represents. It represents not only England, but a variety of other nations as well. But it does highlight heroism, courage, duty, sacrifice, and bravery. In Henry V, King Henry says, "Cry God for England, Harry, and St George." Happy St George's Day, everyone.